How's it going? Welcome to McArthur Live, episode 120, by the way. I don't say that every week. I am Tim.
I'm Sarah Davis.
Welcome in. And, of course, we are at McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas, where our studio, I don't call it a studio, whatever, my office is. Anyway, having a lot of fun. Just had some snow. I like to kind of recap and see, hey, what did we do last week? Well, we got a snowstorm on Saturday and quite a bit of snow, actually.
Yeah.
And we went a
good amount for the first snow of the season.
Yeah, we had the kids over at the house and did some sledding.
Yep.
Just fun. So I kind of live on this
hill.
This hill, biggest hill in town, and our house is on that hill. So we have this nice little slope, especially for the little kids. I mean, when you guys get older, you probably want a little bit longer hill, but it's still a lot of fun for little kids. We had them over and had some fun with them.
Yeah.
Will and Jaden and everything. But other than that, no Theo.
Still young.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to post my little sled down on.
We didn't catch the good one, his good run.
Yeah. No, the first one was like really long, almost went off the rock wall. Anyway, but a lot of fun and yeah, so pretty cool. But it's all melted now, just about all.
Just about.
Just almost all of it's melted. I think today we got up in 40s, 50s, and tomorrow it's supposed to warm back up and have rain on Thursday instead of snow. But anyway, all right. How much else? All right. Anything else? Not really. I do have a poll in there, so please participate in the poll.
Yeah, the rest of my weekend was Black Friday.
So the poll basically asks, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, this weekend, whatever, when you did those sales and go out and do that, did you do that for Christmas gifts for your family, friends, or did you just get stuff for yourself?
Both.
So we'll talk about that later. I didn't really have too much to talk about today, but because it's going to be probably a lot of talk about scheduling and everything, because this is, even though this is like it's like what, November 30th will be the first day that a lot of models will schedule for the month of November's allocations. So it's November's allocations, but it'll be like the last day of November that they're going to schedule for the very first time, which is kind of crazy. And so that's why I kind of put in there that a lot of scheduling is going to happen. What are your chances? And I saw some previewing today for our orders. And last week, or 2 weeks ago, when they end up canceling scheduling, we had 150 Maverick allocations, what we have, and there was like 132 that were previewing. Not all of them, which was kind of unusual, but this week all of them are previewing. So I think all of them are going to get scheduled, and with a good mixture. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but. Anyway, I may need your help for the Is It True? So if you guys have some things that maybe your dealers are telling you and you're like, I don't know if I believe them or not, pop it down there in the question, tag Sarah, and yeah, and let us know what you have down there. I got an idea of something, but it's nothing real huge and major. It's things that you guys already know if you follow the live stream, but we'll throw that in if we need to. But if you guys can come up with something, yeah.
I had a guy call me and tell me his he's like, I watch your videos. My dealer's saying that my private offer is not showing, and can you tell me how much it is? And I was like, well, we went over that in last week's live stream. He's like, oh, okay, perfect, I'll go watch that. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
And then I got another call about the EV credit, and that his dealer's telling him it's zero back on Lightning.
You mean the tax credit?
Yeah.
So it's $7,500 if it's less than $80,000.
Right. But I was like, the zero that you're thinking about is mach-e.
Yes, mach-e and 24 will not.
Yes. So I said, that's what your dealer is thinking about. Go back to last week's live stream. We talked about it.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, because we did talk about that. All right. So make sure you guys can hear me okay. I noticed last week in recording that I got to bump up the volume. So make sure you guys can hear us okay. All right. And let's see here. What else? Let's get into some of the other stuff. Don't forget, we are recording this as a podcast. Forgot to mention earlier. So you can check out the podcast if you want, if you're on the go. Favorite streaming platform, I like Spotify. You'll find us there. Just look for Ford Video Guy. You'll find our podcasts on several different favorite podcast streaming platforms. If you want to check it out live on YouTube, if you do listen to the podcast each week and you're like, hey, maybe I want to join live, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. on our YouTube channel. So links for both versions will be, or version, whichever one, it will be in the description for you down there. Other than that, don't forget to smash the like button, all that good stuff. And I forgot to schedule this out. Normally I schedule a live stream Monday night before I leave, and I had it up and I just forgot to hit the send to click. And so I didn't realize until I went to go into the live stream tonight. I'm like, oh, I didn't schedule it yet. So sorry about that, guys. And we'll see if people jump in, but looks like people are finding us. So anyway, we'll see. And people always watch the recording later if not. But all right, other than that, yeah, if you're not subscribed, subscribe, notification bell. So we do this live stream every Tuesday night, but if you like you might like our other videos. So make sure you're subscribed, notification turned on for any news updates and such like that. You'll want to check that out, and have some good video ideas coming in the future. So you might want to make sure you're subscribed. So I think we got some fun videos as we close out December. Some pretty cool ideas.
Sometimes when Ford does a announcement or something, you do an extra video that day.
Yeah.
So
anyway, in fact, I might be doing one on Bronco information tomorrow. We'll see. But unless I just use today's clip. But all right. Let's see what else. Don't forget about our merch. We did have a Black Friday sale. If you wanted some of that, a couple of people did get some merch. Recent videos. Let's see, last week we did. I thought last live streams last week had a lot of information, so we did cut those into separate videos last week. So if you want to see those in separate videos, check out the channel because I did break those out. And if you're just here to finding about the good scheduling information, and if you can wait till tomorrow, I do cut that out into a separate video. You're welcome to do that. What else? Upcoming videos. We do have one on a special trimmer R build we did for a customer that wanted a trimmer R, but wanted some other things as well. And so that video will be going live probably tomorrow. So check that out, as well as I'm going to do a video on the California Special. What's included, what colors can you get that with, and that kind of stuff. I know it's a little late, but I want to do it as a separate video since it's not. That was a job 2 item there, and we'll see what else comes about this week. But there you go. I do want to get a how-to video on the Escape. So I've had some customers on the Escape want me to go through the screens and where everything is on the center stack screen and productivity screen. So I'm going to try to do one of those videos this week as well. So there you go. All right. Don't forget about the channels to support. In fact, one of them. So All Train Nation is down there in the description. Check those out. Got All Train Nation down there. They had a good live stream last night. Johnny's Kirkham Reviews. They had a baby.
They did.
Yes, Marie. Yes. And they had a baby girl. And so on Sunday. So congratulations to them, which is really exciting. Yeah. So I'm sure they're taking it easy trying to get used to that.
Yeah.
So because now that they said now the hard part starts, I'm like, yep. Less sleep. They always want things from you, even when they get older. No, just kidding. Anyway, so congratulations to them. And then don't forget to check out the other ones, the Bronco Nation as well. We follow them. They haven't been doing live streams lately, though. I'm not sure what's up with that. But and then some of the other channels. We got some Ragnarcon has some good videos. He did a really good one not too long ago. So check out his videos, and a bunch of other people down there. So check those out. And I didn't put it in there, but I found we're gonna add Nate. Nate's one of our members. We'll add his channel down there too. So anyway, all right, okay. Now I think I'm ready. You want to let's highlight our members. How do you become a member, Sarah?
To become a member, you have to hit that join button. That is by that subscribe button. But if you are an Apple user, you have to do things differently. You have to go to your web browser and then go up to the top and hit the big A and little a and request desktop browser. And from there, you should be able to click join. You have to do that on Android if you want to purchase a book on Kindle.
There you go.
So there you go.
And then you can, yeah, most of our content should be in that membership tab down there. And actually I made a little tweak to our main channel. So if you go there, I have some sections off videos. And if you're a member, you'll see the member videos actually in there as well. So I added
Okay.
that. So I was trying to figure out how to update the about section and the links, and I found that and went, oh, this is kind of cool. So I added that and added our live streams in there too. So
Okay.
anyway, so you can find it there too. So
Haven't taken a look at it yet.
all right, have you highlighted some people? You ready for our members?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We also, as being a member, you get a lot of other perks and such, a couple videos a week, and shout out on our live streams. So let's shout out our members.
Yeah. We'll start with Mr. Ridgefield. He is our moderator, and he welcomes everyone in for us.
And our Raptor was in first, and he is one of our members too.
He is right there. He claimed first too. We also have Salty Jim saying hello. I've been chatting as we get started here. We have Francis Arrigo. Check today. Still have not seen any movement.
Yeah.
Gino is here with us. He's in Florida, right?
He's from Florida.
From Florida. Yes. We have Mike McArthur. Tim said he hasn't seen you in a while. I'm like, well, he hasn't been chatting during the Q&A. You hop in early and then head out.
Yeah.
Let's see. We also have Jim Hughes saying, hey, everyone. Our Quibido, I feel like I haven't seen you in a minute. Welcome to a cold or chilly Tuesday night. Depends on where you're at. We have Montauk, order number L32S.
Yep. His order was premium this week. Today.
Yes. Yeah.
In fact, we'll talk about that later.
We have Brian Foster. Hello from pretty, albeit cool, Southern California.
What's cool to you?
Right? What's cool to you? Because I know Arizona cool is our warmer weather. We have Clarence Roller. Somebody wake me when summer is here.
Yeah.
And Montauk said, I feel the need to fly south. Niles is here, our wonderful aftermarket specialist that helps out with all of our aftermarket questions in the chat. We have Miss Midcoast Maine. We have Jolie Mike is here. And Marine Vet. Were you out on the trails, Marine Vet? Or are they closed now with all the snow?
Some of those in Colorado do.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping the weather holds just a couple more weeks in Moab for us.
Just a couple more. I know I had a few others jump in as we were doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Rhett Butler joined us, and ML Culpepper from the Sunshine State. And Mike M. I did comment earlier about seeing Tim's Bronco in snow photo. Yes.
Yep. I posted that picture on Facebook. Speaking of that, our McArthur, we have two Facebook pages, the luxury and the performance. I got hacked this week, right on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
The day before.
Oh, yeah.
Day before they got hacked. So evidently, make sure you have the 2-part authentication for your
set up
for your Facebook, because that is what they said that somebody didn't have that set up, and that's how they got in. So we're like, okay, who was the one?
Yeah,
but they're back. We got them back. We just can't change the name.
Okay, we got Rayan Gut Burlett. I think that's all that's all of our members.
All right.
Allie Dubois joined us.
Oh, yeah?
Tell us thank you for making our videos. She's had 2 customers this week. Tell her that they've watched our videos and that they've been very helpful.
Well, good. All right. Hopefully she's having fun with the Heritage Edition. We're going to talk about that.
She's having fun with her new backyard with her puppy dog in the snow.
Yeah, she said that last night. All right. And all right. So moving on in. Okay, yeah. So, and she is, by the way, she is on All Terrain Nations live stream. She is a co-host on there. So check that. Plus, she has her own channel. So check out her channel. We need to link her channel down there. I don't know why I don't do that. So we'll link her channel down there too. So, all right. Feel free to put that in there, Allie, so people know where to find your videos. So, all right. Good dealer moment. You got one of those?
I do. Alrighty. So this is Paul Martin at Matthews Ford in Norwich, New York. They gave a very quick response to our request and are selling new Mavs at MSRP. After seeing so many 23s marked up to $10,000 above MSRP, we are glad to order from these great people at such a great price. And that's from NMB on Maverick Truck Club.
Cool. All right. There you go.
So Matthews Ford in Norwich.
There you go. So if you're in that area, there's a good dealer for you. All right. Well, we're going to get into this here. Into scheduling notes. Because there's a lot going on because there wasn't any scheduled last week, and a lot of them didn't schedule the week before. So there's a lot going on coming up this week on scheduling. So let's get into that here. All right, so we're going to go over scheduling for this week. And the first thing, of course, we want to do is go over some of the terms and all that so you guys know exactly what everything means. There we go. So when we're talking about this part of the video or the live stream is what's scheduling for this week. So we're talking about scheduling. It's if you have an order on the ordering bank, which is where you put the stock and retail orders, then you got to get that order scheduled for production date so it can get built and then get shipped to you. That's what we're talking about here. So in the order bank, you'll find retail and stock orders. A retail order is that customer placed order. That means if you go into their dealer and say, I want to place an order, I want it configured this way because you maybe don't have a vehicle on your lot the way they want it configured. Or they want a special color or an option or whatever that's a must have, they would place that retail order. Stock order is an order that the dealer places for stock inventory. So if they don't have enough retail orders, but they have allocations, which we're going to talk about in a second, then they'll place some stock orders so they can have some inventory on their lot. Priority code. So the dealer can give a priority code to their orders, whether retail or stock. Retail orders are usually a 03 now to 10 to 19 for retail order, or 20 to 80 for stock order, and the lower the better. It's like a golf score. So that's why retail orders are always looked at before a stock order. Scheduling, that's what we're talking about here. That's where Ford schedules your order for production date in the future months. So we're going to talk about in here which each of the models and what month they're scheduling for this week. So production dates, they'll schedule the week or eventually to get to the day, and those dates can move around. So if you do get scheduled initially for a certain week, if you see later that changes or your dealer tells you it got moved, that's typical. That actually happens quite often. Allocations, this Ford gives dealers allocations to schedule their orders. The dealer needs allocation to schedule an order in the order bank. So having a bunch of orders in there doesn't mean that they'll just schedule automatically. The dealer has to have an allocation to have that order scheduled. And the dealer earns those allocations based on their sales and their available inventory that they have. There's a mixture there within their region. Constraints, when we talk about that, because we'll talk about some constraints and such, those are options that are in short supply or might take longer. Maybe they're having supply issues, that kind of thing. And capacity is the planned production rate for a given motor, trim, and option. So like Ford will purposely schedule, hey, we want to build XLs at this rate, XLTs, Lariats at this rate. And so that's the planned capacity. So you always got to keep that in mind if you're ordering to find out, hey, like we'll talk about that in Maverick with XLs, that the capacity is very low based on how many orders are in there. And then job 1 and 2, Ford will split the production into 2 different job runs. Job 1 is the launch of the new model year. Job 2, halfway through, they might make some changes, like on Mustang, where they introduced the California Special in Job 2. That's when they'll do that. And then balance out. That is when towards the end of production, which we really don't have that happening right now because we're at the start of 24 model year for most things. All right. So if you have any other questions on those, don't forget to throw those down there. And if you have any questions on scheduling, make sure you tag at Sarah Davis so that she can highlight those and we can go over those at the end here. All right. Starting with 24 Mustang. And by the way, I noticed somebody actually, the sheets that we go off of here and we talk to you about, those are sheets actually that even says in here that dealers aren't supposed to put these on social media sites, and somebody put on the Mustang 7G. So You better be careful with that because Ford will take this access away from dealers if they do that. So, and Ford is aware that I go through this and they're okay with it because I explain things and not just post it on there with no explanation. So that's the purpose behind what we're doing here. So, 24 Mustang, they are scheduling for February job 2 scheduling here. There's currently about 1,500 unscheduled Mustang orders, retail orders in the order bank. And they are going to be scheduling for not only February, but also the week of January 22nd through the week of February 26th. So it's actually about a 5-week that they're scheduling there. It looks like 5, maybe 6. Anyway, also any dealers that have a balance to schedule Mustang Dark Horse allocation must take off the handling package or it won't get scheduled and you'll lose your allocation. So we actually have one right now, and Ford actually contacted us, said you have an available allocation and you need this order here, you need to remove that handling package. Well, that customer wants the handling package, so we're like, but we have this other order that doesn't want the handling package, can you take that one instead? Because usually Dark Horse, Raptors and such are manually allocated, and so we're like, hey, instead of taking that customer's, even though it was first, take this other one that doesn't want the handling package, and we'll wait and hopefully that the handling package comes back. So, by the way, if you need a Mustang with a Dark Horse handling package, we got one. So, in stock. So, all right. Let's see. Also, same as it was before, that Premier polished aluminum wheel. Dealers should consider removing this option on their orders as soon as possible. Otherwise, the orders will be extended delay on getting scheduled. So, that is a wheel that's really hard to get. Also, the Mustang Night Pony package. This is exhausted availability. So it says, please consider removing this to get things scheduled. So if you have the Night Pony package on your order, just expect that you may not get scheduled. It might take longer to get scheduled if you have that. Just be aware of that. Now, the order banks are open up for 24 Mustang, so you can place those orders, including Dark Horse, as long as your dealer has a Dark Horse allocation available. So like I think we're getting 5 for the 18-month run. I think we've already had one schedule and one's supposed to schedule this month. So anyway, so it just depends on the dealer and how many they're getting. Moving on, 24 model year Escape. Order banks are open up. I'll start doing that at the beginning of the section. So you can place an order. There's currently 480 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank, so not too many in there. No really constraints on this. They are scheduling for January build dates, so the weeks of January 1st through February 26th, it says in here. So even 2 months that they're scheduling for. And like I said, no real major constraints other than that plug-in hybrid might take a little longer to schedule if you have one of those, because I think about 25% of the orders, about 100 of those are plug-in hybrid orders. So moving on. 24 model year Bronco Sport. Order banks are open up right now for all versions, even your freewheeling and your black appearance package. Currently 414 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank right now. And let's see, they are scheduling for the production weeks January 1st through February 26th. So 2 months that they're scheduling for. That's why dealers might have like for us, we have a lot of Bronco Sport allocation. I'm like, wow, that's a lot for 1 month. And then I remembered, well, that's because they're scheduling for 2 months, because we probably won't see any scheduling in December, because typically it starts like a couple weeks into December. Well, then we're getting close to Christmas, so they probably won't schedule in the month of December. So that's why they're doing it ahead of time. So you want to get that order in today, tomorrow, if you want to get scheduled, and otherwise you're going to be waiting until March production. No scheduling for Badlands this week, though, it says. And then limit availability for the tech package, which is optional on the Outer Banks, as well as the black appearance package, which is optional on the Big Bend. So doesn't mean they won't schedule, because again, they only have 400 orders, but it just means that, you know, there may be a chance it won't get scheduled for you. So, all right. Next up, 24 model year Edge. Order banks, they opened back up for the 2.0 liter engine. So that was closed, and they opened it up. So not ST, but the others. There's currently 735 unscheduled retail orders, and they are finished out scheduling for the Edge, because it is going away. They are scheduling for build weeks, the weeks of December 4th through January 29th. So there you go. No real constraints there other than ST is done. So you won't get an ST. But so if you have an ST unscheduled order in there, you're not going to get it. You're done. Just we'll try to find a stock one somewhere. Moving on, 24 model year Ranger. Order banks are open up. Currently 4,161 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. They are not scheduling this week. They will resume scheduling on December 14th. So there you go. So got a couple more weeks for those. There's still a lot in there that need to be that need to be moved and produced and everything. So they scheduled a bunch for production dates and then the plant closed down. So they actually have enough orders for production. So that's why they've held off on scheduling. All right, moving on. 24 model year Bronco. And thanks to somebody on Bronco 6G. This is not for me, although I get access to this. We do actually have information on this I can pop up, and it actually has been updated to 24 model year information. So if you go to Bronco 6G, you can find the same graphic, but here we go. Nope. Wrong one. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me fix that. Let me remove that. I thought I had the right screen. All right, there we go. So there is actual Bronco information. This is 24 model year information. So there is 11,380 2024 model year unscheduled retail orders right now. So this is should be updated information, including you are showing 48 Everglades, and that's it. That is not that many at all. Again, base is 0 because they're not making the base anymore. But kind of you kind of see the breakdown. Heritage Edition, there's not only 970 unscheduled retail orders in there for the Heritage Edition. Of course, Limited and Raptor aren't showing in there, but there you go. Kind of a breakdown of really, there's not a major constraint on any of these. Capacities are pretty good on most of them. I noticed there was a variety of ones that you were previewing for us for this week. There are a lot of hardtop orders, though. If you check that out, I mean, there's 2,000 two-door orders you can see there, and 10,000 total hardtop orders. So that means there's another 8,000 four-door hardtop orders. So that's a lot. So we're talking 90% of the orders are hardtops. So if you got a soft top, congrats, you probably get scheduled. But there you go. That's kind of breakdown on some of that stuff right there for you. So let's go through some of the other notes we have. Order banks are open up for 24. We're going to talk about in the dealer news updates some closing of some order banks on some Broncos, so you want to check that out. They are scheduling for January build dates, it looks like. And Raptor will require the optional B-lock wheel and vinyl interior to be selected for scheduling. So yeah, so if you're wanting the leather on the Raptor, then your order probably won't get scheduled. So hopefully your dealer has one available for you later to get. Did notice today that the Copilot or the Code Orange appearance package was available to add to orders. It's a late availability item, so it probably won't get scheduled for a while yet, but you should be able to go ahead and put those and place those on your orders if you wanted those, or if you're waiting to place an order because you wanted the Code Orange appearance package. I noticed on an order, I was able to order one today with that package on it. So, and then other note, of course, we know two-door Heritage Limited. You can now, well, we're going to talk about that in a second. They are still not scheduling those right now. And then for 2024 specialty vehicle scheduling process launched. Okay, this is for dealers. It's just now where they can see those orders. And then allocation week 6 is for both January and February, it does say in here. So currently scheduling only applies for January. So so the allocations that dealers received is for 2 months. But this week they're just scheduling for January build date. So they may not use all of the dealers' allocations this week. So anyway, we did have actually all of ours. We have 10 allocations left on Bronco, and we had all 10 were previewing orders. So anyway, all right, moving on to Maverick. And yes, thanks to the Maverick Truck Club, we do have the sheet on that one as well that I can share. So there you go. Probably should not share these, even though that somebody put it out there. But for 24 Maverick, order banks are open up right now for that. Place your orders. We're actually, here, I want to pop back to this. We are taking orders for Maverick. We have 150 allocations this month. All looks like, well, looking at the previewing and everything, every one of our unscheduled last year orders are going to be taken care of and scheduled this month. So we are taking orders for, because we need some orders, because we're going to have some allocations for future. So if you're wanting to place an order with us, I mean, you probably could get scheduled for March build dates at this point and such. And especially if you want a trimmer will schedule real easy for you, because we have 0 trimmer orders and they will need some. So if you're thinking of doing a trimmer, or even like an EcoBoost with, the optional XLT wheel, so whether it be an FX4 package or a black appearance package, helps your order as well. But all right, they are scheduling for build dates the week for January and February. Scheduling here again, 2 months. Does say exhausted availability for the hard trifold bed cover and the splash guards. And like I've said, just remove those all together. There's currently 38,600, and I'll put that back up. 38,660 unscheduled retail orders, which is not that many when you think about it. They're going to schedule for 2 months. So that's about half of those orders will get scheduled this week. Probably. I mean, think about it that way. They can build about 10,000 a month, and probably about half of those will get scheduled this week for January and February production dates. So that's that. They're going to chop that in half, and you'll see on here. Now, don't forget this column here is in relationship to this number down in here. So we're talking about 46% of the orders are XL. That means of the 38,000, that's how many are XL orders. And when you look at this number, that is not how many they plan to build of those orders. It's how many they can build in a production year. And so we know that if they're going to make 120,000, then we know how many that's going to be. That's well more than what this is. So anyway, I always want to make sure I explain that really well. Just like with the hybrids, just because it's over this number here doesn't mean that not all the hybrids will get built this year. Again, with only 40,000 orders, even if they were all hybrid, right, it might take 4 months, but they could schedule almost all of them. Or actually take, I guess if they were all hybrids, it would probably take them 6 months to schedule them, but we have over 6 months of production left. So anyway, so there's not really any issues here, other than I do know for a fact that go back to that. I do know for a fact that you have a better chance on an XLT. They are kind of restricted a little bit on the standard XLT wheel. So I know that. I've talked to some people at Ford on that. So, if you're looking at XLT, we've kind of been told that, look for the FX4 off-road package, or look for the black appearance package. You're more likely to get scheduled because they are a little constrained a little bit on the standard XLT wheel, because they just have so many of those orders. So there you go. It might be the reason why we've seen them struggle with the XL scheduling. All right. Next, 24 model year Explorer. Order banks are open up, and there's only 268 unscheduled retail orders. Again, they're only going to be building for 4 months here for production. They're going to schedule this week for January and February production dates. So the weeks of January 1st through the weeks of February 26th. Exhaust availability for the limited version, platinum version, it says trail version. They must mean Timberline. The King Ranch version and ST line. Well, what's that leave? I guess XLT. Good luck. Good news there. Oh, no, because limited availability for XLT version, ST version. I don't know. At this point, I'd probably disregard any of those notes, but it also says limited availability for the 4-wheel drive. So with only 268 unscheduled orders, though, I wouldn't be concerned, because again, they're going to focus in on those retail orders, and they can build more than 268 in those 2 months run. So you shouldn't be concerned on anything there. So don't forget, if you do want a King Ranch or a Timberline, they are not going to make that in 25 model year. So you'll want to make sure you order one in 24. 24 model year Expedition. Order banks are open up. There's currently 1,555 unscheduled retail orders, so not too many. And I will say 44% of those unscheduled orders have the standard platinum wheel on them. So those people, you need to take that wheel out. You need to add the optional wheel to get scheduled. So right now, one of the notes in here is Platinum will require the 22-inch optional wheel, the 64P on those orders. So that's probably why we're going to keep those. What's that make? Almost half of them. So we're talking 700 orders aren't getting scheduled because they don't have the optional wheel on the Platinum. So make sure you're making that change. They are scheduling for January build dates, it looks like, and limited 302A will require the sandstone trim. Also, don't forget multi-contoured seat is back. So you need to make the change, remove the removal option. So basically, so you can get that multi-contoured seat. It is back. And then also dealers, don't forget to make sure you change your stock ones too as well. It does say, please note trim codes changed on the 23 order guide to 24. So instead of the RH interior code Black Onyx and RV Carmelo and RA light sandstone, they said use SH and SV and SA. Well, Webdo works so well that usually you don't even have to select the codes. You just go ahead and just click the option, and it puts it in there for you. So, all right, moving on. 24 model year mach-e order banks are open up for the standard and the premium trims. GT is not available to order yet. There's only 39 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank right now. They're scheduling for January build dates as well as some February, so through the weeks of February 19th. And currently 62% of the unscheduled orders are the LFP battery, so that they're standard range, so which is a good battery. So capacity is 20%, so it might, but with only 39 orders, they shouldn't have any problem. No other constraints though, other than that. So, all right, moving on. 24 model year Super Duty. Current order banks are open up for this. Currently, there's 29,000 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for this. They are scheduled for production weeks at Kentucky. Will be from January 1st through January 22nd. No scheduling at Ohio assembly plant. And that's usually where you see a lot of your fleet stuff, chassis cabs, and that kind of stuff is built in Ohio. And then Kentucky is where usually you'll see, if I think I'm right on this, where you usually see like King Ranch, Platinum Limiteds, and all those crew cab beds and all that kind of stuff. All right. They're not actually showing any constraints on this list. I actually did let the brand manager know that they had some errors on a couple things, and now I've noticed that they're all gone. So I wonder if when they were rolling 23 over to 24 and having those issues, if they never took them off the sheet, and then they realized that, oh, we have things on there that probably aren't an issue now. So they've actually all been removed. So it says the information for commodities with limit availability will be updated tomorrow, which I didn't look that up. So I might look that up while we're going through this. Let me go to F-150, and then if that's changed, we'll come back to that and find that. So let me just pull that up real quick. Anyway, didn't see that note. I guess this is what happens when you don't review the night before. All right, let's see if they updated that. Here we go. Okay. Yep, they still don't have it in there. So, okay. So, yeah, we're good there. But, all right. So, moving to F-150, 2024 model year F-150. Order banks are open up. There's currently 4,381 unscheduled retail orders. No scheduling this week. Kind of weird. No scheduling. And don't forget, you still can't order the trimmer. I know Ford Authority put out an article and talked about trimmer and talking about some of the change, the look of the trimmer and everything else. Probably got people excited. You still can't order a trimmer. I did check today. Also, don't forget to, they're not scheduling this week, but for future weeks, the 802 and 803A Raptor is not going to be scheduling for several weeks. If you want to get scheduled, you have a Raptor allocation, dealers, you got to have an order with an 801A. So the 802A is your trimmer, your Raptor 37, and then the Raptor R is 803A. So 24 model year F-150 Lightning is not scheduling either this week. Order banks are open up for those. They don't let us know how many unscheduled orders they have on that. And then 24 model year Transits. Order banks are open up for that as well. 7,186 unscheduled retail orders. They are scheduling for production weeks January 15th through January 22nd. And the only thing I have in here is that the E-Transit motor is exhausted availability, so which is unusual there. So there you go. All right. That's all I have for scheduling.
All right.
Any questions?
We do have a few.
Good.
Have to move my mic. There we go.
Yeah, make sure you get that close to you so you can hear you.
Yeah. Move it away so they can't hear me breathing while you're talking.
Yeah.
All right. So our first one is, if I change my Maverick XL to a Lariat order, do I go to the back of the line for waiting?
Well, technically, okay, so the way scheduling works is the first thing that's looked at is the configuration of looking to schedule for. Second usually is your priority, and third would be your date that your order was submitted. So technically, when you change a body code, then that would change and restate would change your date of that order being placed. But again, that is the last criteria looked at. But I will, yeah, because you're going now. They have different body code for every trim level and body and 4-wheel drive and such. So they did change it this year. But I would say this: leave it as XL one more week. Just leave it there. I can tell you, at looking at our orders,
unless you really want the upgrades going from an XL to a Lariat.
Yes. Go ahead and make that. I mean, depending on your dealer. So this is all specific to within a dealer. So like for us, it might be different than another dealer. So if you're at a dealer that has very few orders and allocations, that may not mean anything, especially if you're like a priority 2 or priority 3. Now, if you do make a change in your priority 2 order, the dealer will have to change it to 3, make the change, and have their sales and inventory specialist move that back to a priority 2. And so, yeah, that's something you want to do. Now, looking at it for us, like I said, we have 150 Maverick allocations this week. Of the 150 being previewed, 74 of them are XLs.
Yeah.
74 are XLT. Only 2 are Lariat trim. So I think they're really trying to focus on getting those XL and XLT scheduled. So probably what they're going to do is, like, we have a variety of all those. So what they're trying to do is schedule their XL and XLTs to schedule those this week, and then they're going to fill in around that. So, fill in the other orders around that. That's my opinion on it. So a dealer may not get all their allocations scheduled this week. Some of it might get scheduled next week. Because, just depending on like for us, again, we have 300, what do we have? 100, I don't know, 188. We have 188 orders. So they can do that with us because we have a variety of orders. So, so your dealer may not get that many, but they're going to try to schedule. I believe those XLs are going to be the priority. So if you have an XL, like if they're looking at, okay, we can only do so many hybrids, they'll probably try to focus XL hybrids first until they filled in what they can for the capacity, and then the other slots that's my guess, but I have no definite information on that because I'm not at the factory.
Yeah.
I might be totally wrong on that.
What does the Vario PPTs mean on those order summary sheet?
So if there's a SKU outside of that, then they're saying that it's, that's the percent over or under, right? So, so when it says that, like the Maverick XL, how many retail orders they have is 49%, but 23% is their capacity. So you just take the 49 minus the 23, and that's that number that's over the side. So that's just what percentage they're over or under their capacity. Yeah. But again, people look at that report, and that's why putting these on like Maverick Truck Club and Bronco 6G is not a good thing, because if somebody looks at that, they're going to go, well, shoot, looks like I got no chance to get my XL hybrid scheduled because the hybrid's over capacity and so is the XL. But what they don't understand is that column is the percentage of the total orders at the bottom, not their total capacity. So again, when you're looking at capacity numbers, this model year, they're going to 23% of their production will be XLs. Well, if they build 120,000 in a year, and let's say 10,000 a month times 12 months, 120,000, what's 23% of that? Right. So, and let's make it easy. Let's say it's 100,000 for the year. 23% is 23,000, right? XLs are going to build. Well, but if you take now 49% of the 38,000, which is half, that's 20,000. So it looks like they could actually build all the XLs, right? So that's how it needs to be looked at. So a lot of times those are looked at the wrong way and using the wrong math. So.
All right. Says, thank you for the answer. It makes sense.
Cool.
All right. Why did they not announce ahead of time that they will stop taking 24 Bronco Heritage 4-door orders as of yesterday?
We're going to talk about the dealer news update. I don't know. I actually, because that dealer news update came out last night. I mean, I don't think it was there when I left yesterday, and it was the last day to be able to order those. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah.
In your opinion, do you think an 03 Code Platinum with HO will get scheduled?
Again, really depends on your dealer. It depends on if your dealer has, a bunch of priority code 03s, then that might make a difference. If you're the only 03, then you should get scheduled probably here pretty soon. Again, we got to remember high output. I didn't post on there because it wasn't published anywhere, but the capacity for the high output is only 10% of the orders can be the high output. Or wait, yeah, 10% is their capacity for the high output diesel engine, but 60% of the 29,000 orders are that. So it will take longer for those to get scheduled. But again, it depends on your dealership and what orders they have in there. And Platinum also is one of those they're only making 5% of them Platinum. So you got a couple things going against you. One that it's a Platinum and the other that it's a high output engine, diesel engine. But, again, depends on your dealer. If they have how many orders they have versus how many allocations, there's no reason why they wouldn't fulfill all those.
All right. So we have a few more.
Okay.
I got a build date and VIN on my 24 Heritage, but never received an email notification from Ford. Do you know why? Everyone else on Heritage forums, same thing happened to them.
Okay. Well, one of two things could have happened. One is email address could have been put in wrong when they put the order in, or they didn't put an email address in for you, or two, Ford decided to scrap that, which that part wouldn't surprise me. They've had some issues with that system. So it wouldn't surprise me if Ford's just like, we're going to do that.
I think dealers were also getting frustrated because then the
customers would know before them.
Are knowing things before them. And then they're like, but how do you know this? The vehicle, it hasn't even been checked in yet. And it's here.
Yep. Because we have that happen
4 emails.
Where customers will get an email saying it's in last preparations and they know that it's there. And as a salesperson, they don't know because our service department checks them in and then someone sets them up. And a lot of times they'll get us the bill of lading sheet. Our inventory, manager will usually go through it, and it could be afternoon before they get it to the salesperson, and you already got the email that it showed up that morning. That happens often, actually. And so, anyway, so that might be another reason, but it's hard to tell.
Yep. My Ranger Raptor is code 19. Should I request a lower code?
I have the only allocation they have. So in that situation, it doesn't matter. Yeah. If you're the only order and they only have one allocation and they're only, because that's what we did too. If we know that for us, we don't have any Ranger Raptor orders in our system because we had with just the one that's actually scheduled, but we knew we were only getting one until they decide how many other dealers are going to get any and how that's going to work out. And so we only took one. So there was only one put in there, and that was the one that got scheduled. So for you, if your dealer has and still hasn't had scheduled that one allocation for them and your order is the only one in there, it doesn't matter what the priority code is, it'll be the one that gets scheduled. So anyway, yeah.
So on with the Ranger Raptor subject, should my Ranger Raptor be a retail or special order? I put down the deposit. Which one betters my chance?
Okay. Now they did that. That's a good question because at the launch of this, they said put them in as a retail order. And then they told dealers, nope, you need to flip those. They need to be put in stock. And then they like, no, you're good. Put it back as a retail order. But a retail order is what it should be. And here's why. So let's say you place that Ranger Raptor order and your dealer has an allocation, but it's not until later. If the price goes up on a retail order, you're locked into that price, and Ford will reimburse you the difference back, called price protection. But if it's in as a stock order, then you don't get price protection. So that's why you want to make sure your dealership has your order in as a retail order, is because you get price protected. That's the biggest difference. And we always know a retail is going to be looked at, but Raptors are always manually allocated anyway. They usually ask, hey, you get a Raptor allocation this month. Which one do you want scheduled? And then you usually do it. Sometimes they'll just, I don't know, unless they're changing that. Yeah. I know now how they're showing that up. They might change that, and it may be based on priority and specification, especially if you have one with a, I think that's what Ford was saying with us with that Dark Horse order, was that it was the first one put in the system, so they wanted to pull it first. But since the customer wanted the handling package and didn't want the Dark Horse without it, then we said go to our second order, and we actually had to tell them pick that one instead. Anyway, yeah. So in this case, I would go make sure it's a retail order again, because that way you'll be price protected in case there is any price increase before they have an allocation and before it gets built. So,
all right, I ordered my Super Duty back in 10 of 22. No schedule, so I reordered Super Duty using the same order code in 4 for 2023. Will I get any benefits from waiting?
So your dealer, sounds like to me they put a party code of 4 in on your order. So you will have a higher priority. So that as long as the dealership did a good job there and say, hey, anybody that had a 22, an order for a 23 and didn't get scheduled, now we got to put in a 24. They prioritize those orders just like we did with we had a couple of those Heritage Edition Broncos. So we put them in as 3s. And they're the first ones that get scheduled. So, and that's exactly what hopefully the dealership does, that they put in those. If you had an order for 23 model year, it didn't get scheduled, when they put in that 24, as long as they prioritize it to a lower number, that is a benefit to you, and they'll look at your order first. But it is up to the dealership to do that. So it's always a good idea to ask them what it's at.
Yep. If I order an F-250 in August, priority 19, when do you think I might get a build date?
Again, that's hard for me to say without being your dealer. Yeah. So if you're at our dealership, I could probably give you a better idea. But again, Super Duty is a hard one. Depending on how you have it built, there's so many different options and things that are constrained. Yeah. And, I can look at it. I mean, we had one last year. It was like, I don't know why your order is not scheduling. We don't have any constraints on yours. It's not scheduling. And, but yeah, so it really just depends. And again, being a party 19, as long as they put every order in as a 19, then you don't have any repercussions. But if they move other people to a 3 or a 10, and then they would be looked at first. Mm-hmm. So it's always a good idea if you are at a dealership. Party 19 is a default, and as long as they do that with everybody's order, then there's nobody gets special treatment. Mm-hmm. But you can always ask and say, hey, what I noticed mine's at 19, because we do at ours the default's 19. And depending on the manager, we'll try to put that as a 10. We just automatically just change it to a 10. But if that manager forgot to change it to 10, then it might be stuck at 9. It might be at 19, and then they'll be looked at after all of our others. Yeah. So it's not a bad idea to say, can I have a higher priority, and how does your dealership handle it? So,
yep. But I ordered the 24 F350 Platinum HO last week on Wednesday. Will it get built?
Yeah, man, that goes. I keep saying this the whole part, but it really does depend on your dealer and how many orders they have and how many allocations they get. So that's the two biggest things that affect your order. Platinum high output is going to take a lot longer to get scheduled though, because if that dealership has Lariat 9 high output diesel, they're going to schedule that before they're going to schedule your Platinum, more than likely, because again, Platinum capacity is only 5% of the orders that are scheduled will be Platinum, and only 10% will be high output. And since you have both of those, that's going to be really difficult for yours to get scheduled. It'll take longer, I should say.
Yep.
But again, it's up to the dealer. If yours is the only order at the dealership and they have plenty of allocations, they'll try to schedule the retail first and then their stocks. So that really just depends.
Yeah. There's a green dot in the production or under in production when I go to check the order status link on Ford website, but I still can't see the Windows sticker on the view Windows sticker link.
And that's been inconsistent.
Yeah, that's been very inconsistent for the past month.
Yeah.
Many people have said that they can't find or they can't see their Windows sticker. You can check with your dealership.
Well, he's with us, remember?
Oh, that's
he's one
right.
of our members.
Yes, you are one of our members. So he can.
See, on Friday, what was the status on his order?
Well, but he wants the Windows sticker.
I know, which we can get that for you.
Yeah. Email me.
Oh, yeah, because he's scheduled to be built. Well, you're not scheduled to be built yet. That might be one of the reasons why you can't see it. Because you have a build date of December 8th.
And that might be why Ford is going to stop sending emails if they truly are.
Yeah.
Because that tracker is inaccurate.
Well,
yours is saying in production and it's not even scheduled
remember,
yet.
They usually pull them, they call them sent to plant when they get about a week and a half out. So that's probably why yours is looking to be sent to plant is what they call that status, which means they actually giving your information to the factory so it can be ready to build yours when it comes up that week. Mm-hmm. But you may not see your window sticker until it's actually built. So
Tim, email me
and we can see if we can pull it.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, hey, I'll do that for you tomorrow. And by tomorrow, I will have completely forgotten who I told that to. So please email me. Even if I say, hey, I'll do that tomorrow, email me and remind me.
Yep. I can try.
All yes. All right. That is all of our scheduling questions. We had quite a few tonight.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to get into the dealer news because we are going to get into some people talked about Bronco stuff, and I want to make sure I cover that, which I'm going to cover next. So let me get into
do your graphic.
Yeah, I need to do this first.
Oh, yes.
All right. So this week's scheduling, dealer news updates. One of them is on, a couple of them are on the Bronco. So 24 model year Bronco Heritage Limited Edition order bank is closing. So if your dealer needs to place a limited edition order, which every dealer is only supposed to get one, so I really don't. I guess they're probably trying to make sure that those dealers place that one order in the order bank right away. If they've sold that order to a customer already and said yes, you want one, and you've already figured that out, then you put it in as a retail order. But you have till December 4th to place that order. They're closing it at that point because they know how many they need to make and plan that out. So that has to be done, and then COVP has to be done by December 11th. So there you go. Now, Heritage Edition, this is your non-limited. Heritage Edition order banks are closing as well. This one is a big deal because the published date of this memo was November 27th. So this came out November 27th. I can tell you it did not come out before I left work yesterday. And they closed the order banks for the 4-door Heritage Edition yesterday on November 27th. Usually Ford, you give us at least a day or two notice on this. I'm really a little disappointed that they closed it the day they sent the memo out. That's just wrong. Anyway, in fact, I didn't get any information from our field rep until this morning on it, and they closed it last night. If they might get a lot of people giving them a bad time about this, and maybe they'll open it up for a day, but I don't understand. 2-door, though, they do have it opened up through December 4th. And don't forget, if you had an unscheduled or if you had one event that got canceled for 23 model year, you need to make sure you place that one by December 1st. Even though the deadline here is the 4th for orders for the 2-door, if you had that canceled one, that deadline is the 1st for you. You want to make sure you place that. And then COVP is due on those orders. If you had a 4-door Heritage Edition, make sure you get that COVP done. If your dealer hasn't done it yet by December 4th. 2-door order, they're closing on December 4th with COVP approvals need to be done by December 11th. So, yes. So, anyway. So, this in here, actually, no, there's no mention of why they're closing it. There you go. They don't have that many in the Heritage Edition orders I could see. But, anyway, there you go. that's that. Don't know what else I can tell you about that. All right. Well, this I don't really need to cover. Okay. Next one is the Expedition multi-contour seat reintroduction. We actually talked about this before, but they did do another memo today on this. So I'm just going to go through this. It says a previous message stated we aim to reintroduce the multi-contoured seat as soon as December 4th, but that date has now been shifted to January 1st. So that's why we're getting this. So the reintroduction of the multi-contoured seat. So if you do have a production date in December and you're a platinum, you will not get your multi-contoured seat yet. So it says Ford is lifting the stop build of the multi-contoured massaging seat for 24 model year Expedition Platinum, beginning as early as the build week of January 1st of 24, pending supplier support. Ford will spec change the affected scheduled and unscheduled stock orders to include the multi-contoured seat. Retail orders require customers to modify their orders to remove the multi-contoured seat removal option or feature, it says, if customers want their vehicles built with the multi-contoured seats. All orders built between now and then will continue to be built with multi-contoured seat removal. So if you have a build date, like I mentioned, in December, it will still be built without the multi-contoured seats. So there you go. If you have a production date in January, then make that change. Make sure you pull that off. All right. All right. So this actually we talked about last week, but they updated it today for some reason. Don't forget about the 24 model year F-150 transition customer satisfaction program for those that had an unscheduled retail order that were not a priority 99 for a XLT trim. If you had one on one of the other trims, it doesn't matter because the price didn't go up on those. That only went up on the XLT standard range. So you'll get a private offer, and those should be loaded in December 1st. But you'll need to you want to make sure you make your place your order. Maybe it was just a reminder to dealers to make sure that they get those orders placed. I don't think we had any of those. Maybe I need to look tomorrow and make sure. All right, last week I talked to you about the Ford Chargers that were going on sale, part of Black Friday.
Yes.
It was supposed to go through the 27th. They extended it to December 1st. So if you did miss that, you missed Cyber Monday, you missed Black Friday on those chargers. If you need a home charger, you can get up to $250 off of those. It's 25% off on the 48 amp charge station. If you go with the 80 amp one, it's basically maxes out at $250 off. But that's a significant price reduction. So go in there and get those. I think it was Give Thanks 25 was the promo code for that. If you wanted to get that and go to their website and get that. So I actually had a graphic on that. See if I can find that. Yeah, we got a flyer here for that. Oh. So there's the flyer on that. So get 25% off your purchase of a Ford connected charge station or Ford Charge Station Pro for your home. So it runs through until December 1st. So you can, the website to go to is chargers.ford.com / I don't know if it put / add code GiveThanks25 to receive the discount. To say $250 max. So the charge station, the top one here, 48 amp one, I think that's like $799. So you'd get $200 off of that one. And if you go to Charge Station Pro, I think they're $13.99. So you'd get $250 off of that one. So there you go. That's that. Sorry. All right. There's no recalls this week. 0 recalls. Well, headquarters is down, so they're off for this week. But all right, no recalls. But that's all the dealer news updates, and don't have any recalls. Any questions yet, or we can go to? Do we have a good? Is it true? Did anybody give us any? Is it trues?
No, not really.
All right. Anyway, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, for this week, there is one kind of mentioned. Actually, I mentioned that earlier about trimmers, but um, something else that's been popping up on the Bronco 6G forum lately is people asking, is the price protection still a thing? Because my dealer is saying that it's not, and I have to pay the new price, the current price, and they are wrong. So the price protection basically means that if you ordered a vehicle within the model year and that comes in and is produced within the model year, you are price protected to the price it was when you ordered your vehicle. So when order banks open back up for the Bronco March 27th and you ordered and you got scheduled, whatever it was when you ordered, let's say you ordered on March 27th, that is the price they are to charge you. Ford will reimburse the dealership back the difference. So if the price went up, you don't pay that new price. You pay the price it was when you order the vehicle. It's that simple. It's not real complicated for dealers. It's what was it? When you order the vehicle, you have an order sheet. That is the price that you should pay. Say here, and hopefully you got a copy of that. This is the price it was when you ordered the vehicle. And why don't you look through your DORAs, because the dealers can get access to that. Look through your DORAs and you can see when I ordered the vehicle and what that price level was, and that is what you should be paying. The dealer will be reimbursed 45 to 60 days later, as long as the person that ordered the vehicle buys the vehicle. That is another requirement. They will get reimbursed that money back. So don't let them do the, hey, if we get it, we'll give it to you, because you know what's going to happen. They're not going to look. They're going to hope that you forget about it 45 days, 60 days later. They're not going to look for it. But they will get it on their dealer payment statement. So anyway, I didn't provide a graphic on that, but yes, that's the thing. So I got another possible. Is it true? I forgot about this. So we'll point this out on here. So on, was it yesterday or the day before? Ford Authority got this. This is a screenshot from theirs. They actually reported that Ford patented the phrase Lightstream. And if you look under the category, it says goods and services, and it says motor vehicles, namely passenger automobiles, four-wheeled motor vehicles, sport utilities, off-road electric powered motor vehicles, and structural parts and fittings. Therefore, I think it's the whole category that it's giving it to. So I think some people are looking at this and thinking this is the off-road because it says off-road and electric. So I think they're having the assumption that this is what Ford is going to call their electric or EV Bronco. And I don't think that's not necessarily so. I think Lightstream might be the new phrase or new for the new T3. So that's my opinion, is it could be the T3 name, which is the new truck that's coming, the EV truck that's coming. That could be what they're going to call it, is the Lightstream. So it's hard to tell.
Lightstream makes me think of a camper.
I was thinking the same thing. The Gulfstream. I was thinking the same thing. I don't think just because we see four-wheel on here as well as sport utility and electric vehicle and off-road doesn't necessarily mean that. I think that just covers the whole category, because it also mentions passenger automobiles. So, right? And so they're basically saying it's in the category, the goods and services of motor vehicles, which would namely be any of those possibilities. Yeah. So let's not get ahead of ourselves there, Ford Authority. But anyway, it's hard to tell. There you go. All right.
Now I was like, is it true you like Code Red more than Baja Blast?
No. So the Baja Blast you get at the Taco Bell, I like that better than Code Red.
So do I.
Wish they made that. Not all stores make. Sometimes you can get it. All right. So let's close our poll. Hope you guys voted. How many votes?
86, 87.
Oh. Last chance to vote. So who did you shop for Black Friday? I should have been in there. You didn't do any, but family, friends, or yourself? Did you do any Black Friday shopping?
I did.
Or Cyber Monday?
We bought a refrigerator and a washer.
So for yourself?
Yes. And then my goal is always to have all Christmas shopping done by the time Cyber Monday deals are done. Then for the rest of December, I just have to worry about them getting to me and wrapping them. So I don't have to worry about scrambling to purchase them or what am I getting for this person. It's all handled before December.
Yeah. Your mom does that. She's pretty good about getting that, but I'm not. So, oh, Johnny's in here. Congrats, Johnny.
Yes, congrats.
Or is it a streaming service they charge for? Just I don't know what that's all about. All right. Yes. So anyway, so
Yeah.
I did. So you did some shopping.
I did.
I was like, you know what? I'm not going to look at Bronco things. I'm not going to do this.
He looked at Bronco things.
But while I was Thanksgiving, I went to Bronco 6G, had the links to all these places. So I was actually looking at all of them. But I was just like, none of them really like, I was like, nah, I don't really need it. Done a lot of things to the Bronco and everything, even looked at some Maverick stuff, but did not get anything. But I did in a sense. And I'm going to talk about this because I'll be doing a video on my personal channel, Ford Video Guide channel, on this eventually. But I actually have an air compressor. So the backstory here, I have an air. We're going to end this poll. So when I get on the story, you better have voted because I'm going to end it after the story. Come on yourself, get up there. Anyway, so I ordered an air compressor through More Flat. I saw some videos and some reviews, and it sounds like they had the best setup for the Bronco for airing up and airing down my tires without, on the trails and such. And so I wanted one of those nice. A lot of people had this 4-tire air down and air up kit. More Flat has, so you can basically you connect all 4 of the tires, and then you let out the air. Well, I wanted their air compressor to go with it. And they have one that now allows you to put in the air pressure you want from the tires, and it airs it up and then just stops there. So you don't have to keep checking it. And I thought, okay, well, I'll get their air. So I ordered both of them at the same time, October 1st, when I ordered. Got the hoses and everything, but the compressor was on back order. Still on back order. And it's still on back order now. And I'm like, I'm going to Moab. And yes, Melissa and Brian are going to take us off-roading out in Moab on some trails. And I want to be able to air down and air up my tires. Although I know they'll have one, but I don't want to rely on them necessarily. And so I want a system. And so I'm like, if you can't get it for me before my Moab trip, then I can get it. I found one that I can get. So I'll do that. And I feel bad for More Flat. They're a good company and everything. It's more of a supply thing. I get it. We've seen it with a lot of the Ford vehicles, right? So I get that. But I just needed one. And I found that the company that they actually work through, they make them for other companies too. So Thor's Lightning has one just like it. It has the same numbers and everything, and it's by the same company, Napa, from what I understand, that makes the compressors for them and More Flat. So it is the exact same one. Got it through Amazon. Should be here December 4th. Right before the trip.
Yeah.
Before the trip. Wait till the last minute. So I ended up getting a Black Friday deal, but it wasn't planned because that was what I did. I purchased that on Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
So it was actually on discount. So I actually ended up saving myself money because they More Flat, of course, refunded me the money back, which is they didn't have to. So I appreciate them. And I will give them a shout out when I do a video on their air down and up system and how well that works. And I would have went with them originally. But Thor's Lightning, theirs was cheaper because of the Black Friday sale than what it was going to cost me. So there we go. So anyway, there's the end of so we're closing the poll. There we go. So most people, 50% of you, if you did a Black Friday shopping or Cyber Monday or whatever over the weekend, 50% did it for family and 43% for yourself. Mm-hmm. And, that is, the case sometimes. I see a lot of people will do that. If they get like a major purchase, like washing machine, refrigerator, something like that, that's real expensive, they wait till the Black Friday sales to purchase that big purchase items. I know All Train Nation was talking about it yesterday on their live stream that he got a Icon lift kit and a hardtop on Black Friday. I'd already purchased so much for the Bronco recently that I didn't feel like I could do that. Plus, I didn't think of anything else but that I needed. But anyway, so there you go.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we did. We bought our fridge and washer.
Yeah. I think that's another thing that people will use Black Friday for, is to get that big purchase item,
Mhm.
like that. So
That I was actually trying to convince Lebo to wait until the beginning of the year, because I've been told that like showroom models go on sale because they're trying to get the new
ones coming in.
So they'll put all their stock on
Mhm.
sale, trying to get rid of it. But we were like, eh.
Well, and that's what we're doing. Right now is a good time if you're looking for a deal at a dealership and you're wanting to get a vehicle. Now is the time when you start seeing 2024 model year showing up at dealers, and they have 23s and 24s. Now's the time to make them a great deal on that 23, because you're more likely to see them discounted. You'll notice on our Mavericks, we have Mavericks available. We have 19 in stock,
Something like that.
of people that didn't take theirs for whatever reason, and for several different reasons. Most of them was because they couldn't wait any longer, and so we do have 23s, and you'll see on our lot, you'll see almost all of our 23s are MSRP on our Mavericks. So our hybrids aren't, a little bit above, but everything's negotiable. You can always negotiate. Anyway, because I think we had actually an XL hybrid. We had it 2,500 over, and it was a 23, and I noticed what they ended up buying it for, and it was an RGB. Anyway, so yeah, but our 24s, dealers will do that. We're like, okay, for one, Ford will provide rebates usually on that 23 and not on the 24, to help get rid of the 23s first. So you'll see, like right now is a great time if you're looking for an SUV. All your E's, Expedition, Edges, and everything, they have like a 0% low interest rate. I think Expedition right now has 1.9 for 60, right?
Yeah, 60.
1.9 for 60. That's a great rate. He's trying to get me to trade in, get one. I'm like, no, I'm waiting for 25. I'm waiting for 25. But you'll notice that I think Edge right now, a 23 Edge is like 0%. So if you find one of those, by the way, we have one in stock. It's like 0%. Like we have ours discounted $8,000 off and 0%, because we need to move that 23. We have 124 that arrived. So same thing. So that is another good idea on that. And like I said, here's another thing to think about. If you're looking at EV, you're looking at a Mustang Mach-E, find a 23 at a dealer's lot. Ford, actually, I have an opinion on this. I think you should wait till December.
Yes.
Find out December incentives, because I don't know why, but Ford took away the rebate on the Mach-E, the 23. It was like 4,200, 4,250 rebate. They took it away for November. And I'm like, why? I think they're going to bring it back in December when they see the low sales volume, because we had two come in November and they have not sold. And we have them discounted like 2,500 off of MSRP, below MSRP. And they're not selling. But if we get the rebate back, that's a different story. So I think they might come back in December, so they can close out the year. But don't forget, right now, a Mach-E gets tax credit of $3,750. January 1, they do not. So if you buy a 23 model year in January 1st, you will not get a tax credit. It's based on when you purchase a vehicle, not what year the model year is. So keep that in mind when purchasing like a Mach-E, because it loses its tax credit for 24 model year or 24 calendar year. So if you're out there thinking you might want a Mach-E and hey, get that extra $3,750 tax credit, find a 23. They're out there on some dealer lots. We got a couple standard. Oh, wait. Are they selects? I think they're select standard ranges.
Yes.
Out there. Probably as cheap as you can find a Mach-E, to be honest. And we have ours. We just marked it. Would you just lower it $3,000? You did the pricing today. So ours just went on sale $3,000 below MSRP. So
I don't always pay attention to what I'm pricing. I see the stock number and the price.
Yep. So, yep. And so, I know that I think somebody posted was a Car Edge or something that Richie has mentioned how it's doom and gloom at dealers and all this and that. Folks, inventory is maybe it's just us. Inventory is high.
Yeah. On Friday, a couple of the members were talking that they've stopped watching that because of how negative and doom and gloom they've been.
And it's not. I mean, right now, look at it. I mean, our inventory is high. We actually, we didn't, lower too much of our inventory, but we're stocked pretty well for the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We want to close out the year, and so we're doing good, and you can get good deals right now. So we really don't, other than your specialty vehicles and your Maverick, we don't really have anything over MSRP. So we even just lowered the Bronco Raptor we had.
Yeah.
You priced that today. I remember we priced it too.
I,
But
I can't remember what
that
I
I
did
think
to
we
that
looked on
one.
eBay for Bronco Raptors, and there's not much markup on those now. But again, they're they're already too high. But
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know. Let's get a Bronco Raptor for 90,000, or I can get a Super Duty diesel high output for 90,000. It's like, wow, that's, when you look at it that way, that's truck right over here is cheaper than a Bronco Raptor. I don't know, something wrong with that. Anyway, all right. I think that's all I got. Other than questions, I did pop in the description of the video there. We were looking up because we actually have our EV team getting together now every Tuesday and having meetings. We were talking about charging, and we're talking about here pretty soon in January. You should be able to, whenever Tesla opens it up, we'll be able to charge as long as you have an adapter. So there's two places that are pre-selling adapters, CCS to the NASC system. So there's links in the description for Electron and A2Z, sorry, shop. They're like $200. So in fact, one of them, the Electron one's on sale right now for $199. So if you're needing one of those and want one, you can get the adapter, but we don't know whenever Tesla allows for the charging on the superchargers, you'll be able to use the adapter on those, but may not be a bad idea to get and grab one. So anyway, I thought about getting one for Jeff, but
Yeah.
he never goes out of town. All right. Anyway,
No, he does not.
anything else?
We have a couple of questions, but
All right.
yeah. Yeah, I stayed in. We didn't go to the stores.
Oh yeah, I don't do any in-store Black Friday stuff.
Yeah.
I don't even try
I
it.
bought some
I did
View Guy merch.
I did it once. I remember your mom's like, "Hey, they got this TV at Walmart. We need to go over and get it." And I remember Thanksgiving night. What was it? I had left, and
It's not
I
as
went
crazy anymore to go into the store, but when I go into stores, I spend more money. If I am looking online, I search for the one thing I need, I add it to my cart, I check out, I'm done.
I did get some camping gear because I saw a video that talked about the best camping things that you need to go camping, and one of them, I'm like, oh, it was like a emergency radio, flashlight. You can even power your devices and everything, and it cranks to charge.
Mm-hmm.
So I ordered that, and that was on sale for Cyber Monday. And then they actually had a hat clip for a light. So when I go camping, I usually get that light and I put it on my head. But if I have a hat on, it kind of makes it hard. So this one will clip on your hat.
Yeah.
So and it was like $20 or something. But
I mean, when I was a kid, I remember Mom saying, "We are not leaving this house. We are not going to the stores. We are staying in."
Yep.
Because the stores were always crazy on Black Friday. Yep. Now they aren't.
Well, and you know what else is crazy? Is coming to work at like 8:30 and the Starbucks line is crazy because everybody went and did their shopping at 6 a.m. and then they need a coffee. So
yeah,
the Starbucks line was out. So yeah. Anyway,
it's like that every morning at 7:30.
Yeah, well, some of us is fortunate to be able to come in later.
I'm now a window shopper. I'm just a screen shopper.
Yeah, screen shopper.
Any thoughts on extended warranty? I was offered 7 years for $78, then lower to $48, then $22. Or else can I get an extended warranty?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't worked in finance or anything the whole time I've been here. I know that we offer a Ford one, but then we also have another company that we can get extended warranties through.
So I noticed that you had said that they kept lowering the price as you kept saying no. They're trying to get you to purchase with them.
Well, I don't think a $2,200 one's a 7-year warranty, but I'd imagine.
Right. So they
But
may not. They may have been lowering the range to
yeah,
try and
make
get
sure
you
they
to
don't. Yeah,
purchase.
but yeah, I will tell you that even in finance, like some of those warranties and all that, there is a cost and then what they're charging you. So yeah, you can definitely shop around on that. So, and there are dealers. We've actually had people that have purchased vehicles at other places and got the extended warranty from us because they watched the videos and all that. So they would call our finance and say, "Can I get an extended warranty on the vehicle I just purchased at another dealer?" Which you can do. So you can call around to other Ford dealers for your extended warranties. So.
Mm. Will Ford ever make a hybrid Bronco?
They will eventually, either hybrid or plug-in.
Question is, what speakers did Ford get rid of on the Super Duty B&O system 18 and 14? The headrests.
Well, we know the headrest so that's 2 of them.
That's 4 of them.
There's a 2 in each of those?
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
So that's 4.
How did you find that out?
There was a comment on their YouTube page.
I know, but how did you find that? You researched?
Yeah.
Were you able to find a 24 Super Duty?
No.
Well, there's one right there. Is that 24? Is that 23?
That's a King Ranch F350.
Well, they probably have the Unleashed B&O. See if it's in the headrest. King Ranch will have the B&O, the Unleashed.
Yeah.
There you go. So, headrest.
Yeah.
What was your source on that?
I found a couple of threads saying it. So
they're probably assuming though, because until we actually see one,
you're right. Until
show
we
up
see
at a
one,
dealer,
we
we don't know.
We won't know for sure.
But the assumption is the headrest.
Yes.
Which would make sense because it's a part thing.
Mm-hmm. Hi, I was scheduled to have my Maverick built on November 6th. How long might it be before I see it approximately?
Once it ships out, 4 weeks. So being built on the 6th doesn't mean it's actually going to ship that soon. So it just depends.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd probably be more likely to find out when it got shipped out. You should get an email once it's shipped out. But if you got an email, when it got scheduled and such, and you should get one when it gets shipped out. But check with your dealer to see if that was produced and shipped.
Yep.
See if it's on the rail. I like to wait until even if it says it's been released from the factory, it can be a couple days before the rail company actually picks it up, puts it on the rail car. I like seeing that it's on a rail and then saying when was it put on a rail, and then 4 weeks from there is usually a pretty good estimate. Mm-hmm. But I don't know because we have 3 2023 Mavericks that are sitting in Kansas City and should have been here like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So not always this case.
The local Ford dealer said that we would have to leave the Maverick a couple of days to diagnose. So Gino's having trouble with his battery again. Keeps dying on him in his hybrid Maverick.
Do you have anything on? I actually had somebody that messaged me the other day, and they were trying to have me diagnose their vehicle, and they said, when I get out, it's chiming, the lights are staying on for 5 minutes, and this and this and this. And then they noticed their vehicle's going in deep sleep all the time. I said, "Are your headlights on?" And sure enough, they looked, and it had moved off of the auto setting to on, and so the lights were on. So what it was doing was it was staying on for the 5 minutes, and then it was kicking them off at that point. So that was probably running their battery dead. Yeah. So maybe you have something that's pulling and dragging on the battery that's causing that to happen. I don't know.
Possibly. Yeah. But he left it with the Ford dealer to get diagnosed.
Because, if it's going through batteries like that, then there's something that's drawing some juice somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, when I get out of the town cars, I'm used to, if I hear dinging, I need to check to see what's going on. Because Lebo's town cars, if you don't have the key at just the ignition in just the right place, it dings at you and it actually will stay on. The auxiliary power. Anyways, my local dealer appears to be balking again on another Maverick call. They keep saying they'll get the parts and let me know was supposed to be done in October. So Mike McArthur, he's the one that we had to help the first time.
Yeah, but he was going to try to go to that local dealer again.
Yeah.
So
And
go
they're
back to
balking again.
go back to the what was that dealership? I can't think of the name. Yeah, you might have to go back to the other dealership with Josh.
Drive all that way.
You have to go back over to Josh's dealership, get taken care of. Got another recall?
Right. Yeah. All right, here we go. Was there ever a Shelby Bronco made?
No. Oh, well, way back in the day, I don't know. I don't think so.
Be interesting to know.
I actually didn't follow Bronco in the early days, in the early builds. I wasn't a big car person back then, so I really wasn't a.
Now you're realizing how fun it is.
Yeah. I'm having a midlife crisis, so get me off road.
We are on the last question I have pulled. If you have a question that I may have missed, or you have a question now, let us know. Drop it in there with @SarahDavis. Will Lon McArthur register at the IRS for a clean vehicle credit time of sale payment?
We plan to, yes. We are in the process of going through that. And that's something that's a good point to bring up, because that the dealer has to sign up for that. So it's not a requirement from the dealer. The dealer doesn't have to participate in that. They can say, no, you take care of that on your own. So really the dealership has to go through and they have to sign up for it. And then they also have to set up the advance payment part so they can be reimbursed from the government as well. So they have to do 2 different steps for that. So we, as a dealership, I already asked, they are in the process of working on that and getting that taken care of, but we plan to be doing that. So.
All right. Niles asked Baja Blast or G Fuel?
Depends. On a Tuesday afternoon, G Fuel.
On most other days, Baja Blast.
Although this peach rings is about all I can find in town.
I like the pear cinnamon that they just came out with. It's pretty good. So
they do make another one, but I don't like it. But and Walmart's got these.
So I had a Baja Blast, and someone was like, "Did you eat there?" No, just got the drink. Oh, it was Lebo, because he was like, I was like, man, I was really wanting a Baja Blast, so I stopped to grab one, and he's like, you were craving it that much? He's like, I don't think I was like, hey, you eat pie. He had 2 pies made. The one Mom gave him for Thanksgiving, and the one he made, he ate both in a week. How many hours do you spend on the Bronco 6G forum?
Not much, actually. Usually I ask people if they have questions to tag me. I'm Ford Video Guy in about all the forums. So I always just say, hey, if you got a question, tag me, because I don't always. I know that you get in the Maverick Truck Club almost daily and get in there and see what's going on. I would say I don't typically, but once a week I do get that notification from them of the popular posts for the week, and I usually will go through those on Mondays, Monday nights usually. And so sometimes I'll go through those. But other than that, I don't get on there unless I have something to post or somebody tags me and they have questions. So yeah, I'm always willing, if you see me on any of those, tag me or tag Sarah on those, especially Maverick Truck Club, and we can help with questions. But typically we don't.
I also try and get into like the Bronco Sport. That one I get into. I'm supposed to be getting into Ranger. I find it hard to get into Ranger.
They don't post a lot of stuff in there.
No.
Not a lot of like questions and stuff.
No.
Yeah.
So I've found it kind of hard to break into the Rangers, but Bronco Sport, I get in there. I get into Maverick, and I get into Bronco Nation occasionally.
Yep.
So I know they got their questions locked down with who's it, Laura, and
she does the forums, but I mean they don't. Yeah. I mean, there's still a lot. I mean, I almost feel like there's more going on in Bronco Nation than there is in the way of the different things, and there's Bronco 6G sometimes.
All right. How long before my build date should I be able to view my window sticker? You may not be able to see it until the week of production or the week after production.
And sometimes the link's not working, and you have to have your dealer give them the VIN number so they can just pull it and send it to you.
Yeah. Is it warm in the studio? It's after 8 and I don't see Sarah's blanket. I'm trying to go without my blanket more.
I do have the vest on today. I actually didn't wear a coat.
I was running really warm.
So it might be kind of cold getting to the car.
When I come in at the start of the live stream, I'm running hot from moving around and getting ready, and so I don't need it. And then halfway through the live stream, I'm like, I need it.
Actually, I think it's cooler on that side because of
the openness.
The openness over there.
Yeah.
This side,
but I can tell you,
much warmer than
I
it used to
can
be.
feel a difference walking from my desk into here.
Yeah. So your desk is cold because you have that door there, and you have a lot of.
I have.
Have you ever seen?
I get a draft from all three.
Have you seen Big Bang Theory? You know how Sheldon's like, this is my spot because of this and this and the draft and all that. Yeah. Well, you got a spot where you got a door right there, a door right there, and a door right there. You got 3 doors that all the air kind of comes right in front of your desk.
Well, okay, so the front door, if the vehicle's not there, I've noticed I can get a draft from the front door.
Yeah.
I get a draft from that side door, and down the hallway.
Oh, yeah.
I get a draft from all the doors.
Yeah.
Someone was like, oh, you have your heater on. Yeah. It works great until they open the door.
Yeah, I'm in a good location where I'm at. So, all right. So Johnny, by the way, Johnny Car Care Review, he's in here. Johnny's in here, and they had their baby, and so I don't Lily and Winston is their dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But
they're still working on a name for baby.
Oh. Yeah.
And I've actually heard of some people, they won't put their kids' names out into social media. Instead, they use nicknames.
Yeah.
Which is smart. So I might be referring to mine with nicknames from now on.
Ragnarcon got his Bronco back. His sway bar disconnect was messing up on him.
Oh, good.
But he got it back. That's good. I need to get mine in. So the heated seat on the driver's seat's not working.
Yeah.
I had it on. I'm like, this is not warming up at all. It wasn't cold. My seat wasn't cold, but it wasn't warming up. And I asked your mom was on the passenger seat. She goes, yeah, I had to turn it down because mine's burning. And I'm like, okay, so it's broken. So I need to go get it fixed. And the back window on the passenger side wasn't how when you open the door, it's supposed to come down a little. It wasn't doing that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, man. So I had to roll the window down and roll it back up once we got inside. But then getting out, you're like, what do you do? You can't roll it down and up without going to the driver's window. And so, but then all of a sudden it just started working again. Jeff went to the store with us and in the back, and it worked for him. So I'm like, okay.
They said Tim would be a good baby name, but they have a baby girl.
Yes. So Derek was telling me today that I need to get an Expedition Timberline because it's got my name in it. It's the Tim line. Oh, Timberline. Anyway. Actually, I actually like the Timberline.
Coming in with the dad jokes.
I like the Timberline edition the most, but your mom wants extended length, so
yeah.
Because otherwise, I like the Timberline edition. You could take that off road. She probably like that's not an off road vehicle. She's like she doesn't think the Maverick is, but
yes, it is.
It is.
Would anyone recommend getting a manual disconnect for a Bronco? Not bad.
Anyone recommend getting a manual disconnect for the Bronco? Not bad, Lance. I don't know. How hard is that to put on? I don't know. I feel like with what I have that I don't think it's something it's probably nice to have, and we'll probably, when we go to the off-rodeo, we'll probably get a Badlands with the sway bar disconnect. Almost like sometimes like there was when I went to the one in Nevada, in the afternoon, we got a chance to kind of just drive on the trails for quite a while. And there's a lot of times where I would shut off the rear disconnect and try not to use it. So they'd say, here's a spot, of course, if you struggle, go ahead and activate that rear locker. And there was times where I'm like, I'm going to try to get through this without using it, which was there's some, that was the challenge. And there were like people in front of me that were, of course, they weren't. And I was like, you got to slow down, people. So some of them were just like going through it. And then they were putting the gas, and all of a sudden the tires are spinning. I'm like, slow down, let the tire grip. So they would have to they were connecting their sway bar, or not sway bar, at the rear locker, because they were just trying to send it in a sense. But then when I went through there, I could do it because I just went through it slower and let the tires grip and get me through it. And so that was my challenge, was if I can get through it, and when they couldn't, it was always the challenge. But so I think using a sway bar disconnect would almost make it easy. It is like not as challenging, but.
Do you really have to crawl under and disconnect it manually? Pull pins?
I don't know.
I
think it's a lever or something. I don't know. I don't know. So there we go. Anyway, I'm looking forward to going to Moab. So anybody else wanting to meet us at Moab? What was it? What did I say? December 10th? December 10th. Email me if you want to. If you're going to be there, you want to go on trails, we're going to go with professional trail guides and off-road trail guides, Melissa and Brian.
House says, I can now properly quote Tim saying, send it.
Send it. Yeah, and I don't do that. Because I don't trust myself, for one, but. All right. Anything else?
Oh, I had a couple start. Yes, as soon as I find out what Moab is. Moab is in Utah.
Moab, Utah. So yeah, if you're going to be in Moab, Utah, I want to go off-roading on Sunday, the 10th.
And have the capability to.
With us, we'll be there with my wife, or with our Bronco, and Brian and Melissa. The trail guides from Moab are going to take us out. So as long as it's not too big of a group, we'll be all right. So email me if you want to go. We'll probably figure it out where we're going to go. I probably won't know until the day before when we get there. Yeah. But yeah.
Sure, I'll go off-roading. Can I bring my Honda Civic?
Sure. Why not? Hope it's got a lift. So we do, because that's what they said. They were like, well, what are you going to bring, the Maverick or the Bronco? It doesn't matter, whichever you bring. We'll just decide which trails we're going on based on what you bring. And I'm like, well, we're going to bring the Bronco with the lift so that we can have some fun. Yeah.
Also, so you can try out the new suspension.
Yes.
RagnarCon said, if you get a Timberline, you should make a habit of falling out of your Explorer every single time. Timber! Is the dealer installed keypad the same one Ford already has used in the past, or is it a new one? I'm guessing you're talking about Maverick.
I think it's the same one. That's why it's a little bit different price than what's online. It's not just the one that you just stick on the door. I think it's hardwired in, because it does say illuminated keypad. So it's not like if you get the keypad that you can get through Ford accessories, that's not illuminated, I don't believe, and it's just a stick-on thing. It's basically like another remote, but now you can just press it in. Whereas the one that Ford's having is more expensive, and it says illuminated, which makes me believe it is the same one. They just send the part to the dealer, and the dealership has to go ahead and install it. And if it's dealer installed, then it may have the electronics already in there that they can connect to, I'd assume. I don't know. Haven't gotten one yet.
My 24 Super F-250 Platinum is scheduled to be built on week of December 11th. How long do you think I can before I see the truck? So
week of December 11th. Well, let's say it gets built that week and then gets shipped out that week. You're talking 4 or 5 weeks. So again, until I see it on a rail, I don't like to say much, because like we have Francis. Speaking of, right there, that his has been released from the factory since before the strike, and is still not on a rail yet headed this way. So that's why I like to say I can't give you a good estimate until I see it on the rail. Once it's on that rail, then then usually 4 weeks. But then again, we have some that were on the rail, should have been here 3 weeks ago, that are
Got
sitting in
stuck
Kansas City.
in KC.
We got 323s that are stuck in Kansas City. So,
yeah.
In fact, we have not only that, but we have. So here's another story for you. We have 16 chassis cabs for a local business that's wanting to put probes on the trucks for their customers, and they're sitting in Kansas City right now. And one of the deals that Ford that they're having right now, Ford's saying, hey, if a vehicle has been there for a certain amount of times, once it's there for 48 hours, you can request to go pick it up yourself and bring it back. We're going to send drivers to go get these trucks. We did what we're supposed to say, yes, we want to go and receive those and grab those and bring them and deliver them and pick them up ourselves. And supposedly they're supposed to respond back within 48 hours. It's been 300 hours and we still have not been able to go pick them up. So that system is not working.
Ready.
It's broken. So, yeah.
So Francis says, so no Friday the 8th meeting. Well, I'm still here.
She's here. I'll be driving to Moab.
So while he's driving, I'll lead the member meeting.
Yeah, because I'll probably be around the Utah border about that time.
It's nice that you can go on things and I'm still here.
Yep. I'll pop in. Well, I'll have Barb drive.
There we go.
Around that time, and I'll pop in. All right. We got hey, thank you for the super sticker.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So $19.99. That's an expensive sticker. Thank you. We appreciate it. Donations always help. So
thanks for being you.
Is that what it says? Oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I can't see it on here. So cool.
Let's see. Yeah, Johnny's had an F450 stuck at the last destination for 2 months.
Yeah. That's what we have. We have a bunch of these, which are telling us to schedule chassis cabs and the 6.8s and all that, but yet we can't get them delivered.
Right. Midcoast Maine says, can the Ford dealer provide a lowering kit for the Maverick that's covered under the vehicle warranty?
Yeah, we can. So we we did a bell tech on that Maverick that we had, and we can do it with our install and everything. Then they get covered. It's covered by bell tech. So anything that goes wrong with the lowering kit, bell tech will pay for it. So anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong one. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up on Car Community. Thanks. I appreciate you jumping in. I've missed his. Yeah. He does his a lot of his lives on Sunday, and that's usually when we're taking Jaden back. So a lot of times I can't join in with him that night live, and so I'm sure this week he wasn't live though.
Yeah,
because that's when I had the baby. But yeah, so I've been missing the lives for Johnny because of that, but.
I was just like, we can get away with a lot, but not everything.
Yeah. So I had the suspension. We had I want the rough country, and I know rough country is probably not the most expensive, but I think it's the best value, in that it may not be as. I mean, I didn't spend $3,000 or $4,000 for a lift kit and suspension. This is reservoir though, so it does have where I can adjust it, which I've actually been playing around with that. I'll talk about that in a second, but this one was what, $2,500 I think, and I think it'll work just fine. Blake. That's why I like to talk to Blake and Niles and them on their advice and stuff like that, because I was just going to get the Bilstein shocks, and then Blake's like, "Hey, here's what you should get." I was like, "Okay, let's do that," and that's been fun. So the reservoirs will adjust, and what that's doing is your shock, when your shock wants to move, there's liquid in there, there's oil and stuff in there, and it wants to move, and it only can go to one place, it can only go so far, right? And so then you're limited. But if you have a reservoir, it'll shoot some of that into that reservoir so that your shock can go up and down more and give you more of a lift and such on certain things. And because of that, you can adjust how thick I think and how much that is and how much it allows for. And so when I'm on the road, I don't want a lot because then it's going to be real bouncy, on the road. So you want to take that up. I think when I got it, it was a 4, and I was like, oh, that doesn't feel quite right. So I adjusted up to like a 6 or a 7, and then I could feel like every bump, and I was like, wow, that's just like it's not moving much. So this weekend on Sunday, I moved it to 5, and I was like, man, that's perfect. It feels just like it did before I put that suspension on there. So I found that perfect spot, and just allows me, whenever I decide the comfort is for that shock, I can adjust that reservoir to that setting. So when we go off-roading, I'll move it down to like 1 or 2. Probably I'll try 2 and see where that is for going off-road. So that way it can really go up, and the tire can move up into that shock more, or the axle, or whatever, move up more so that I can get a little bit more clearance on more rocks and such like that. So it'll be fun to play with. Definitely. And what's cool is I can adjust it on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not on the fly. I got to stop, get out, go to all 4 of the tires, but
Well, there you go. Have we had any orders for 24 Maverick?
Nope. We got 0 right now for Maverick trimmers. That would be, if you want a Maverick fast, you could probably order one at any dealer, put in a trimmer order, and you're going to get it fast. And let me tell you, that thing is fun to drive. It is really fun to drive. So, yeah, does it get half the miles than the hybrid? Yeah, but it's fun to drive. All right. Johnny says, I'm now waiting to check my Haas 3.0 switch to see if I could do that. I don't think you can. I don't think it has a reservoir.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
Harley Quinn asked, if I mail an Apple tag to the Mexico plant the week my Maverick gets produced, will they put it in it so that I can track it?
Oh, no.
I've heard of people that have like a friend at one of the factories, like they know someone at the factory or something. Occasionally they'll be able to get them to like activate their Ford Pass so that then they accept it so that you can track its location.
Actually, the dealer can do that now.
Really?
Remember how we've looked and see where things are at?
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe they don't activate it though until I don't think they activate it until they actually drop it off the dealer. Never mind. We can track all of our vehicles that have already been delivered to the dealership. We can see where they're at, because sometimes I'm like, I can't find this vehicle, and so I'll go in and I'll look at the modem thing and find out that it's in somebody's house or something. I'm like, well, that's where it's at.
Yeah. Let's see. Those are all the questions I have.
Anything else? All right. Well, nothing else. Yeah, I think last night on All Terrain Nation, they were talking about, I think Allie was talking about how she tries to get people to look at a Bronco Sport versus an Escape. And price wise, I guess they're not too far off from each other.
No.
They're pretty close. But I still think the Bronco Sport's a little too high. And this is why I think that. So I might actually look at.
But that makes sense, because my favorite body of the Escape was the box style body.
Yeah, if you like that style,
go for it.
So I'm curious. So to compare a Bronco to a Maverick, okay, both built the same plant. For the most part, they're the same suspension and everything. So like my trimmer, like a Maverick trimmer. So maybe I should just share this. Let's just play around with this maybe a little bit here.
Yeah, because with that freewheeling package, I could totally get a blue Bronco Sport, add the freewheeling package, and I now have something similar to what I had when I had my Escape.
Yeah, so check this out. So if we go, for instance, let's look at a Maverick trimmer. So let's try to compare to, I'm thinking in my mind, a Bronco Sport Badlands Edition, right? It's off-road capable, so that would be a Maverick trimmer. So let's build out a Maverick trimmer. And let's go XLT, just to go that route. So XLT, we're gonna pick Tremor off-road, it'll require us to go to all-wheel drive and everything. So you go Tremor off-road. I think it does require. Does it require the Lux? It does not, and it doesn't require the Copilot 360. Or no, actually it does now this year. I was going to say because, yeah. So there we go. So we go that route there. What's our price just going there? So no, can't do 4K. You could go Lux, but let's just go that route to start with. So you are now priced right around $35,000, and that's, I guess, you're 34.5 because you got that AC fee there. So you're 34.5, right? Now let's go Lariat, because this will be loaded up, right? Comparable to a loaded up Bronco Sport Badlands. So you go on this one, go Tremor, right? By the way, how's that look in terrain? Doesn't look like almost looks like they painted that grill, but it's not. It's orange, and I think that's, anyway. All right, so there you go. So there's that one, and they already loaded up, because this is basically how mine's equipped. So your Tremor off-road, and I've got the adaptive, everything else is all standard now. So what's that price come to? That one is right at 40,000. So you take off this, you're 39.9. Okay, so now let's go look at a Bronco Sport. Let's build out a Bronco Sport Badlands edition here. So if you just go Badlands without adding their extra package, so you got your Badlands edition. See what they start out? Start out at 38. It said. So there is a package here, that premium package, and this adaptive, the Copilot 360 Assist Plus, that is the same as your adaptive cruise, right? So we're not going to add those, right? And the premium package would be basically a Lariat.
Right.
So we're technically like XLT Maverick equipment here, in a sense, but Badlands. So what's our price? It's 40. It's already 40,000, right at 40,000, right? And you get none of the leather, you get none of that stuff like you do on the Maverick. And this is why I think the vehicle is priced about $4,000 too high, $4 or $5,000. So what was that price before? It was 35, is what the Maverick was. So you go Maverick Tremor, right? XLT, you're 35. This is 40.
Right.
So you, again, my opinion, equipment wise, you're basically the same equipment, other than you get a truck bed on the Maverick and it's 40. So I think it's $5,000 too high. Now let's go up to the packages and go ahead and add that premium package on there. And let's add the Copilot 360 Assist Plus, because that would make it equivalent to a Lariat Tremor, right? Let's just add the hitch too, which actually I thought that was standard. But anyway, now I'll go down, because now we'd be equivalent, because now we have the hitch, because we have a hitch on a Maverick, right? Now you're 40. What's that say? 45. Again, $5,000 too high. So that's my opinion.
So Johnny said in Canada, a Tremor is in the 40K, and you're looking at 52K or more for a Badlands.
Yeah. So in the Canadian prices. So that's my opinion of why. I mean, I think Bronco Sport's a great vehicle, made at the same plant. Why can't it be priced similar to a Maverick in pricing?
Yeah.
Will we see a price increase on the Maverick? Or I think Bronco Sport's just priced too high. And I mean, a 23 has got some rebates on it. That helps a little bit. But anyway, I think when you're slapping on that, not slapping on, but when you put it on that Bronco name, then they feel like they can get a premium for it. Same way on the Bronco Raptor. What do they start at $90,000? But a Ranger Raptor, $60,000? Is it really $30,000 more vehicle made at the same plant on the same chassis and the same motor, and not quite the same suspension, but Bronco tax? I don't know.
It's like the mach-e. You have to pay the higher interest rate, or the higher what is it rate? The insurance. You have to pay higher insurance because it's a Mustang.
Yeah. So okay, we are on the McArthur after hours here rant. So there's my rant. There's my rant on Bronco Sport. And one of the reasons that remember I ordered the Bronco Sport. Some of you know this. I
Yes.
ordered it and I was planning. I really at one point I'm like, you know what? I actually might take that. And then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, wait a minute. After the
Why?
Maverick meetup, I was like, wait a minute. We got some Maverick Tremors. That's got Badland suspension, and I'm about the same price. So, because what was it? Mine was 38, I think. The way mine's equipped, I think, is 38 or 39. And then when you look at go back to this. Did I still have that on there where you guys can see it? Hold on. How do we have that? Like this? Like this? No. I don't know. Anyway, you guys only see us. Okay, so let's go Big Ben, right? And then add that. So it was the off-road package, and then I had it equipped with the Copilot 360 Assist Plus, because technically there's your adaptive cruise and everything. And then add the convenience package. Right now you're required to get the tow. So now I was like, that's kind of how I had it equipped on the one that I had coming in. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, well, what's that price? Well, there's 37,000. I got a Maverick Lariat trimmer. So I got the trimmer suspension, and I for almost the same price as a Big Ben with a 1.5, and it doesn't have the offer, the full
off-road capability,
the twin clutch suspension. So anyway,
Anthony, according to insurance agencies, it is a Mustang Mach-E, so therefore it's a Mustang.
Yeah.
According to insurance.
Yeah.
We all know it's an EV. They don't care.
There is. I hear that they might be changing that name. You didn't hear it from me.
Johnny's car says, "Baby Johnny girl is ready to be brought up right, listening to Tim Bart's Sarah Davis while in my arms. I hope she is a Ford girl and not a Dodge girl." I can tell you, it works because Will and Theo have both grown up listening to his videos. Because when you first started doing the live stream, I was getting in there, and then as I got more to being your assistant, I then started getting in as a moderator, and Theo was a newborn at that time.
Yep.
So, and I was pregnant with Theo when I first started.
Well, and you ask, so probably not too many 3-year-olds will look at a vehicle and go, "That's a Bronco, not a Jeep."
Right?
He knows
4.
That's a Bronco.
He's 4. We were at Walmart, and there was like a bin of cars, like monster trucks, I thought. And he was looking at them. I'm like, okay, let's go get your football, because he wants a football. So we went over, and he's like, "I want a toy." I'm like, "No, we came here for a football." So I picked one up. I'm like, "You want a blue one?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll go put this back." And he puts it down, and then he's looking at something else, and he didn't put it back in the right place. So I went to go put it in the right place. He had picked up the Bronco Sport. Or sorry, not the Bronco. The Ford Performance Bronco, the only one in.
Yeah, he had picked the Bronco. So
Papa's truck. I was like, "Dude, you picked this?" He's like, "Yeah, Papa's truck."
All right, Johnny, you on your next live stream, what you need to do is you need to put options of baby names and have them do a poll and have them pick. You want to know how Sarah got her name?
They watched a movie.
It was a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie we were watching. We were struggling with names. We were like, what are we going to name her? Well, the first name that they say, and that character's name, her name was Sarah.
Yeah.
So that's how she got a name.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, funny.
Will got his name because I did not want another Willard Lee Davis. He is William.
All right. Anyway, I think that's about it. It's 9:00.
Yeah.
Your brother was like, "Hey, when you get home, I'll be streaming. I'll be starting my stream because he's streaming tonight." And I'm like, "Oh, so you start your stream at 10 p.m.?" And he's like, "When you get home?" I said, "That's when I get home. We usually stream till past 9. I didn't know you streamed for 2 hours." He was impressed.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us, Johnny. Now you
Yeah.
get to stay up with the baby for a while.
He said he on Sunday night he had 2 hours of sleep in the past 48 hours. Sounds about right for a birth.
Oh,
Ours was 12 hours. Luckily, both times 12 hours.
all right. Well, I think that's it. Unless you guys have any other last questions, there's still 100. How many people got in here?
112.
Wow.
I think they probably realized that last week when they logged off that we kept going. And they're like, the after hours are interesting.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Okay. Well,
I want to think that we don't have as many questions because we're putting out more informal videos and we've answered a lot in our past.
In the sections.
In
so
the
at the end,
sections.
there's not as many. But
yeah. Well, I mean, no, like we've answered so many questions in the past live streams and such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So said next Tuesday, Tim, do a shop talk. So I do for our member videos, when we do our lot walk, I do a walk and talk kind of. So usually I do 2 of those where I try to come up with something that's on my mind.
Yeah.
And it might be some of that stuff might end up on the Tuesday night stream as part of the subject or the is it true or something. But this week it was snowing, so I didn't do one, but I did try to do a talk. So anyway, and it seems like the members like those. So
yeah. Well, and I think they were talking last week, instead of walking around the lot and walking here, do one in the shop.
Which I probably will do. So, but I'll save that for when we have more snow again. When I'm like, I don't want to go outside. It's like 10 degrees out there. Then I'll do that instead.
When the new shop is done.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yes.
We're in construction right now.
Yep.
Very interesting.
I don't know how long till it's done, but now our charger situation, our EV chargers, that might take longer. We actually had them here ready to install, but with Ford's change, I think we're going to send them all back.
Oh.
And then try to get state funding, because since they were here, the state's like, no, you already have them, so you don't need our help because you're able to buy them. So we're going to send them back and then see if we can get state funding to pay for some of them, the chargers, to put up, especially knowing that we're right on the highway and everything.
Yeah.
And then purchase the chargers.
Yeah.
After we get some help. I don't know. Anyway, don't know if that'll work out.
We'll just have to see.
But we don't need it. We're going to send them back because we don't need as many, because Ford did change that requirement. You guys, we talked about that last week.
But wouldn't you want more?
We originally purchased what we needed from Ford.
Anyways.
We don't need that many. We won't have that many people stop here and charge.
How do you know?
These chargers out here are actually on the system, but they're not DC chargers. But anyway.
And how many times are they filled up? Because we have vehicles that have been brought in and they need to charge up.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yeah.
On to the end of our evening.
All right. Yeah. So next week we'll see what happens, what we got coming up. But like I said, we got some at the end of the year. I think the last live stream of the year, we're going to do a year in review of some of the trips that we've taken and some of our favorite trips that we've gone on, whether it be auto show trips or whether it be off-roading trips or even car lab. We're going to kind of put it together and figure out what were our favorite trips and recommendations for you guys of maybe some trips you might want to go on and definitely not miss in 24. And then the first Tuesday in 24, we're going to try to, at least for what we figured out already, what trips we definitely plan to attend. And maybe even get you dates for the Maverick meetup for this year.
So they're asking about the Super Duty.
Yes.
Is it drivable or does it have a recall?
No, it doesn't have a recall.
Okay. The reason it's sitting here is because we have a toy drive that we put here. Last year we filled up an F-150 to the brim. So they're saying we brought in a Super Duty so that we can...
Long bed even. We're going to fill that up with toys.
Yes.
For toys from the heart.
Yes.
With in conjunction with Caldwell Banker. So we're going to fill that up with toys. So that's why that's there. But
you can't see the sign from here, but it's sticking out there.
It's sticking out there, yeah. So And we have on over here, you guys can't see, we got a Heritage Edition
It's so
or
pretty.
Heritage Shelby over there in the Brittany blue.
Yep.
That I used one that we got, and then we have the Lamborghini still here. So anyway,
paddle shifters.
Yes. What's an 04 Lamborghini? I think.
Mm-hmm. It's very low mileage.
Drives a little rough. I drove it. I was like, ooh. Sure, it was fun in 04.
It's actually gotten a new transmission since it was first purchased. So that's not the original transmission.
Ah. Okay. Anyway.
I saw the paperwork.
But yeah, that is a King Ranch edition. So you should go look and see if it's got headrest it's got speakers in the headrest.
Is it locked?
Oh, I don't know.
No, it's not.
I hope not. I hope not. The horn will go off. Are there speakers in the headrest?
Yeah.
There are?
Yeah.
Okay, so the 4 we're missing is not in there. Because that's a B&O Unleashed. So it's not the headrest that you lose them.
Huh?
So it's not the headrest that you lose them.
That's a 23, isn't it?
I don't know. We've been getting 24s. Find out.
I just realized, how do you tell it's a 23?
The year is at the very top in the blue section.
Up here?
Yeah.
23.
Okay. Well, that's a 23. So never mind. So we do have a 24 limited that just came in. We should look at that one.
Yeah, we should.
But you're probably right. So yeah, there's speakers in the headrest, so it's the Unleashed. So you pretty much it gives you a surround sound audio, but so a lot better than the 6 speakers I get in the Bronco, I guess. You know, they could take a few speakers out of those and put them in the Broncos. That'd be all right. I mean, instead of a 6-speaker audio, let's get us at least an 8-speaker. Come on.
I gotta say, it's colder out there.
All right,
I'm
guys.
shivering, so I think it's time to hop off.
I think we're done. Thank you guys very much for joining us, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And oh, your mom just popped in. Well, bye.
We didn't do our catchphrase.
Nope. All right. Well, she just jumped in, and we're heading out. So yeah, I'm headed home in a second. All right. Well, guys, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the questions and everything. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed some of the different things that we brought to the channel. But all right. Thank you guys very much. Anything else? Nothing? Nope. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week or on one of the videos this week. Until then, don't forget, stay positive, be kind to one another.
And be kind to yourself.
We'll see you later.